Hello my Lilians, and welcome back to another FAVIORTE channel. I'm JMJ Books Corner, and I figured to come in here and start this vlog because I'm going to be starting one of the main books for it, and I figured, you know, happen not to be on Wednesday, but it's okay. I'm about to finish the last Percy Jackson book that I need to read for that series, and so that will be done. So I picked out the next 4 books I want to read. A lot of them are going to be with you. Let's go ahead and talk about them. So once I finish this one, which I won't tell you any review about, but there will be a review coming. I'm officially stopping after this book. I think review videos like I've been doing, and we're just going to transfer review videos into vlog form, and then sit down content, that type of thing, will be on a third day. This is going to be like one of the last ones, because I was thought maybe A Court of Mist and Fury would be last, like one, like Sarah J Maas would be like the outlier, but I can do like a weekly vlog for Sarah J Maas and just read the whole book without spoilers, which I think some people are gonna like, and I can add some spoilers in if I need to. Either way, we're not doing that this week, so it doesn't matter. This week we're gonna be reading Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I've never read a Victoria Aveyard before, and this series has called me more than Red Queen has, so we're gonna try this one. This one is, I'm pretty sure, pretty true fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. I really have no idea what it's about. We're going to go into it completely blind. I have the first 2 books on audio. I don't have the third one, but if I love it, I'll buy it. I only have the first one physically, though, so we'll figure that out. And then once I finish that one, because I was going to plan on reading the whole series with you guys this week, or starting it and then doing it over the course of the next few days, next few vlogs, and that's probably what's going to end up happening, because I just jumped from Realm Breaker into the newest Threads of Power series, or the newest Shades of Magic series. This is the 4th book in that series, which is also like a new series by V12. I finally got the audiobook back, and it's telling me it's going to leave me again, so I need to pick that up. That being said, I will update you probably when I'm like 25% into this. They give you a first like full check-in. Maybe before that, I really don't know. Vlogging probably won't happen until much later on this week, but I did want you to know we're starting our first book for this vlog, which is Realm Breaker, which I'm so excited. I have no idea what it is. I know it's a female character. There's a lot of characters that are listed back here. Who knows? I'm hoping I love it. I love Victoria Aveyard so much as a person that I'm really hoping that I'm gonna love her books. I want to come here and update the weekly vlog before I get my clothes on for work tonight, which I will continue to read this while I'm at work. I am loving it, by the way. The writing is so good. I'm so excited to continue to read it. I got to chapter 4 on my first initial, or chapter 3 on my first initial listen. I have no idea if there's like dragons or anything else in this world. The prologue is a big, huge battle sequence, and so I didn't really understand a lot of what's going on, which I think is the point. And then chapter 1, I was like, oh, okay, so we're following this like pirate's daughter type of thing. Very much more into this. Chapter 2 follows a spire, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think we're following the same character, or parts of the same character. Yeah, from the prologue. And so I don't know if we're building up to what happened here to get like a better idea. I'm not entirely sure what the prologue was about, to the point where I'm like, ooh, should I probably won't start it over, but I'm also tempted to start it over because I didn't have the greatest grasp, but I'm very much enjoying it. I did finish The Sun and the Star. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Once again, this review will come out later on this month. It was a great little closer to the Percy Jackson world, but I'm really excited to start Realm Breaker. It's so good. Okay. That's all. I read that much. You can see little Deadpool's little head. I read the first like 30-something% last night while I was at work. Hold on, let's see here. The first 180 pages of the book. I don't know what that means going forward, or what that equal, but I do have some of a grasp of a story. So it opens with a battle. This battle is for power, essentially, and then an outside source comes in to take over. We realize that someone can travel between realms, and then they bring someone who, there's like a spindle or whatever, the spindle can grant immortality. And then we see immortals, and then they start killing everybody on the battlefield. There's only a few that live. This guy who ends up going to hunt down someone who can break the spindle or break the realm to either send him back, but also to stop the bigger war that's happening. Then we also follow the spire who was there, who had to watch all of his comrades die. We follow the queen to the spire, like she's the queen of the people. And then we also follow so far a merchant. It's like what does it count? And a pirate's daughter, who right now the quest is that she is the reason who can like stop all this. Those are our characters, and I'm very much enjoying it. Let me make sure I have them all right. So we have a squire, an immortal. I've not met an assassin yet. Oh, I take that back. I guess there was like a little part about someone saying, hey, could you go kill this lady for me? So maybe that's the assassin. I've not met a sorcerer, but I have met a pirate's daughter, and I'm assuming the heroes are gone are just like, you know, like the end of it. So I guess the only one I'm not met is an old sorcerer so far, because I don't think there's been any magic, and if there is, I'm sorry, you know, but I really like it. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I don't think it's a 5, at least not yet. It hasn't pulled me, but oh my god, is it so good. I'm so excited to read the entire series. I have so many questions, and I think it's so well written, and I think the dynamics between all these characters are so interesting. Like, the Immortal is so kind and cute, and I love him. He also has murdered several people, but he's still cute. And then, you know, I feel like all the characters are kind of spunky and stuff. The Squire is kind of dwarby, which I also enjoy. I think it adds an interesting element. And then also the Pirate's Daughter has this, like, true to her. And then the Queen is a very interesting type as well. She reminds me a lot of the Queen from, I was gonna say Attack on Titans, but I actually think it's Overlord, if I'm not mistaken. Where she seems like she could be like really evil, but she just isn't evil yet. And so I feel like maybe that's where the story, or one of the storylines is going. They're not together yet, and I have this feeling that this is a big group of characters that'll eventually come together. But I also, like, I know the whole point is to, like, end the realm, or whatever. Actually, it's to save the world or end it, I guess. But we haven't really gotten to there yet. By the way, I figured I'd come in here and update you guys because I did read like 4 or 5 hours of the audiobook last night, and I'm very much enjoying it. Like, Victoria Aveyard, I'm not gonna throw your entire backlog because I think I might. Okay, how cute for me. How fun and exciting. That's all I got. I've also learned I really love war fantasy. Like, I like dragons and I like all that other shit, and I think it's fun and I think it's cute. I mean, I think a mixture of all of them is the way to go. But ooh, fucking war fantasy. This shit hits. Now, I'm not a huge fan of political fantasy. A lot of people like political fantasy. A lot of people sometimes prefer the politicalness over the action and all that, like, political intrigue and shit like that. And that's not, like, what drives me to continue to read. I like political stuff, but, like, also, like, other books that I've read that are also kind of like, this is urban fantasy back here, you know, Cyberpunk and stuff. Enjoy some of the political politics. I think it's really interesting to learn all about it over the timeline and history, but it's not my favorite part of the series. A lot of that's characters. This, however, there's, like, 2 characters in here. The Squire and then the Pirate's Daughter are my 2 favorite characters if you read the book. I think the Immortal is super funny, but it also, like, nobody else is, like, truly stood out except for the Queen. And currently it's super politically intrigued. There's a lot of action. The action is really well done, really well choreographed and things. I'm having the best time of my fucking life. Also, there are so many references to unicorns. Like, if there's not a unicorn, Victoria, I think we're gonna have a fight, but I'm gonna read everything that you write, even if we do fight. So don't worry, you're still getting my money. Ignore the mess behind me, because no, I don't want to deal with it, and it's fine. I did finish Groundbreaker by Victoria Aveyard, and I loved it. It was a 4.5. It was great. I couldn't tell you a single fucking thing. Like, to the point where I was like, I was reacting, but I didn't know how to react. So, like, I was reading it, and I was like, oh, I'm so intrigued. Where is this gonna go? Where is this gonna go? And to be honest with you, it didn't end in a way that I thought it was gonna end, and I felt like the battle was gonna be bigger, but it wasn't. It was interesting. I'm very excited to start Bladebreaker, which I will be starting, like I said, soon. We're actually, because I'm working on so much YouTube stuff for the next few hours. We're actually going to jump over into the Fragile Threads of Powers instead. This is did I wrap up this book good enough? Hold on. Maybe I didn't. Realmbreaker. I'm like I said, I really enjoyed all the characters. My favorites were still Pirate's Daughter and the Immortal and the Squire, and the Assassin didn't really do much for me. And the Old Sorceress is a fun little hag, but she's a fun little hag, you know what I mean? Everything else was great. I like the Queen quite a bit. I like the little interesting thing going on there. I don't want to spoil it. And I like the idea of the spindles, and I like the idea of the world and stuff. I'm just really excited to see where it goes and where it develops. I felt like someone was going to die, and no one died, which is fun. I love when my characters don't die, but I have a feeling this book series is going to hurt me in the 3rd one, so I think we're just in a build-up. I'm curious to see, because the book is still like 500 or so pages long, what Bladebreaker entails, why we have 1,500 pages worth of this story. Like, that's my curiosity. Also, I think Victoria Aveyard writes such cinematic sequences that I understood exactly what was going on at all points. She is one of the best action fantasy writers I've read so far. I'm very excited to read more of these books. I know that Red Queen's nothing like this. And I know that this is like a mix between YA and adult, and I definitely can see that as well. But yeah, alright, that's that one. Okay, moving on. Like I said, in the intro, I think, or when I mentioned my TBR, I think I mentioned that this is the sequel series, Shades of Magic. Because technically it does say book 1 down here on its corner, I think we will probably just go from there. Let me read a little bit of it, figure out what I can actually talk to you about. I don't really know. We're going to be talking about VA Swap's writing. I know we're going to talk about some of my favorite characters and stuff. I'm excited to see some shit. But yeah, it's been a minute since I read the other series, but I'm really excited to read this. That's what we're going to jump into. This is a really long audiobook. I'm going to be reading it for a minute. Probably the last thing I read for you guys, because I got through this audiobook really quickly, so if it's nearly as good as that, we're in for a time. Talk to you soon. A little after 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit more than that now, because I'm doing this, and I'm reading, and I'm writing, and doing stuff that I'm enjoying until I need to go to bed. My plan is to go to bed around like 1 or 2 tonight, so I do have work tomorrow. This week, my last day off. So sad. That's not the last day for you guys. I'm excited until Sunday, because I didn't really vlog yesterday, and I didn't really vlog. We'll see how the rest of the weekend goes. That being said, I canceled buffy-a-thon. I wanted to mention it here. Simply just don't have time for it scheduling wise, and I felt bad trying to promise you all these things and then failing at them, and it was just like a whole thing. There's a lot of other reasons. I don't feel like getting into it, but it's just this is not the year for it, and maybe in a future year when we're more stable and more relaxed into where we're at, maybe we can talk about buffy-a-thon again. I'm going to try something else. I don't really know what yet, but we'll see. Bear with me as I figure out another a-thon. I do want to do one. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. That being said, let's talk about writing and reading in life. I'm about to make breakfast. I am currently reading this. I'm like 36% into it or something. It's okay. It's not blowing me out of the water, so we'll see as it progresses. Overall, I can't really tell you too much about the story, I feel like. It does take place a few years, 7 years after the events of the previous series. All those characters are here, and those are my sections that are my favorite. You know, with Lila and Alucard and all of them, I very much enjoy it. There's some other stuff that's going on that's really interesting, but like nothing super much to talk about. Another thing, I'm really enjoying VA Swap's writing, but her writing's always different for every book series that she writes. She has a very clear style, but she messes with it, and this is one of those cases where it's messed with, so it's not like my favorite VA Swap writing. It's good, it's just not my favorite. It's looking like it's gonna be like a 3.5 to a 4 at this point. So I'm enjoying it enough to probably give it a 4, but logically I think it's probably like a 3.5. I'll keep you posted. I'm gonna continue to read it as I make my eggs sandwiches this morning, but will read it while I'm doing my rounds and stuff at work. Alright, I want to let you guys know that I finished the Fragile Threads of Power by VA Swap. I'm landing on a 3. I know how time has changed in like 400 pages since I updated you. Essentially, the story just kind of bogged on, and I felt a little too long, and I didn't think the ending was fully worth it. It's VA Swap, so I would continue reading the series no matter what. That doesn't really deter me super duper much. Was definitely not my favorite, and I would have a hard time like recommending. If you're a big fan of the previous series, I recommend just jumping directly into this one. It's a direct sequel, so you get all those characters and the new characters. I just didn't really feel like the plot was as like stake-filled or heavy as the previous books, which was disappointing, I guess, in a way. But yeah, we went on a 3. I think the next audiobook that is due back the soonest is Blade Breaker, or Breaker Blade, the second book in that series that we started in this video. So I think I'm gonna listen to that today and tomorrow and see how far we get. Alright, a little bit of an update for you. This is Blade Breaker. I am 27% into it, very much enjoying it. I'm liking it a bit better than the first one. It's a bit more chaotic, but in a good way. All my characters are still favorites. The sorceress is really shining through with this one though. It takes place directly after the events of the first one. Obviously I can't really tell you too much because of spoilers and stuff, but I'm very much enjoying this series quite a bit. Alright, let me close out this vlog a few days later. That's okay. In this vlog, I read Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard, which was a phenomenal. It was, I think I gave like a 4.5. I can't remember exact the number. But yeah, it was great. Very much enjoyed it. Highly recommend the series. And I read one I wasn't super fond of, but I'd still recommend, and that is the Fragile Threads of Power by VA Swap. I just didn't think it was as good as the original series, and even if I do love the characters, it wasn't enough to like fully pull me into the story. And then I read the first 60% or so of Blade Breaker, which is the sequel to Realm Breaker. And those are the 3 books that I read for you in this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.